Hello fellow YouTubers, Bear Prepper here. I'm doing a video response to GoatHollow's Inputs 2020. He tagged me, thank you GoatHollow, and he wants us to consider those things if we were to be without long term, what would we want to have on hand, and do we have the ability to keep that on hand, say, if it was an extended period of time, like to the year 2020. So I thought about it, and I thought, what would I not want to do without? And I decided that the one thing I would not want to do without is my coffee. Well, I can't really grow coffee bean plants here in Texas. If we've got no electricity, I can't have them out in the heat or out in the cold. So I thought, okay, so what do I do if I can't make coffee? So that's what I'm going to show you today, and I hope you enjoy. Again, thanks GoatHollow. Great idea and great thoughts for the mind. What I have here is 6 cups of cracked wheat. And the recipe says, and cracked wheat is simply breaking the wheat down into the smaller granules. So it's not fine. It's clunky. Kind of looks like coffee grains. And it calls for 1 cup of milk. So of course I have my powdered milk and a cup of water, a third a cup of powdered milk, third a cup of water. I'm going to mix it up and pour it in. And then we have a half a cup of molasses. I put a little oil in the measuring cup first so it doesn't stick to it. And a half a teaspoon of salt. I'm just going to give it a dash. And so now all we're going to do is we're going to mix this up. And make a paste. Looks like a pretty easy recipe. Now of course I'm going to have to figure out how to duplicate molasses. I do have dry molasses and liquid molasses stored, but I'm going to have to eventually learn how to replace it. And apple syrup might be the answer. Thanks, Kat, for that suggestion. Love that video. Okay, so now we're just going to take a pan. No oil, no grease. And you're just going to pour it into the pan. Spread it out a little bit. I'm not going to pat this or anything because we're eventually going to have to break it up. So I'm just going to spread it out. Put it in a 350 degree oven. It says until brown. I'll let you know how long that takes. I kept it in the oven for 35 minutes. So now I'm going to put it on my dehydrator tray and dehydrate it until dry. Now it said to press it in the pan and then break it up and grind it, but I think it's better if you don't press it in the pan, and then it stays separated, and you don't have to worry about grinding it. So let me get this on the dehydrator trays, and get it in the dehydrator. Smells pretty good. The dehydrating is done, and so now all you're going to do, since I didn't smash it into a flat piece, mine's pretty much granules already. There are a few lumps, and you can take your mortar and pestle or rolling pin in a Ziploc bag and just roll it and break up those clumps that are in there. This is what those 6 cups of wheat made. So now we're going to measure it like coffee. We're going to take, and I'm going to use a percolator today. And I use 4 scoops in my percolator. Alright, so we have our 4 scoops of coffee, wheat coffee, in our percolator. I already put the water in there. And we're going to make some coffee after I put the lid on. There we go. Shows you how often I use my percolator, huh? Okay, so we're going to let it perk. It'll take a couple minutes. Coffee is done. Let's pour a cup and see what it looks like. That's how much I got. That's a half-gallon jar. Looks a little weak. Looks like tea. May take more than 4 scoops. Wow. That's not bad. A little weak, but it's got a nice flavor. I don't know if you can see. Not bad. I think I'll try it a little more scoops. So let me pour this out and try a little more. I'm going to try grinding it. So I got my coffee grinder here. And I'm going to put some in it. And grind her up. And I'm going to put 6 scoops in this time. I think grinding up, I don't think I had 4 full scoops in there by not grinding it. Okay, that's need a little more. Maybe the coffee will sit just a hair longer in the grounds. I got my water in there already. And let's perk. Okay, here we go. Try number 2. I would say no darker. Interesting. So it's going to be a light coffee. Matter of fact, it actually looks weaker. Well, no, it's just a light. So let's try. Let me see if it tastes any different. No different. Okay, let's try one more way. And here goes the third try. Now, this one was 4 scoops of wheat coffee. This one was 6 scoops of ground wheat coffee. And this one is 3 scoops of wheat coffee and 1 scoop of regular coffee. Now that looks like coffee. Look at the difference. Let's give it a taste test. Now that's coffee. If I need to worry about 10 years down the road, I only need to grow enough coffee beans or store enough coffee to add 1 scoop to every pot of coffee. So I just have to sit down and figure out how much it is. And as for molasses, I need to learn how to make molasses. So there you go, GoatHollow. That's my input. What am I going to do in the year 2020 when I can't get no more stuff? I'm going to make me some wheat coffee. I'm also going to include in the description box below 5 or 6 other ways to make coffee. They're items that I don't have on hand, so I didn't demo them. But give them a shot. Blessings.